All right, all good. Go.
Yeah, so I was just like gonna do the basics of WordPress there. Like it's a big enough topic, I really honed in on that basics bit. So uh, I thought the way to do it would just be to build like a custom theme, a simple one. Just some of the show some of the basics through that, like hopefully. Um, so I done up a little template to convert. So I've got a couple of paid templates done there for it, and I done put together a little doc, which is basically what I'm going to be running through. Because I don't think everyone's going to retain everything. So hopefully they get to download it if they need to go over it. I also have a WordPress install set up, and that should be it. So the first thing, like to create a WordPress theme, you really just need 3 files: index PHP, style CSS, and a functions PHP. So I'll just start by creating an index PHP file. Sorry, I should say, for this template I created, like this is basically the static version. I'm going to be changing this into the theme, so I've just moved over some of the files into the theme folder. Can you see the theme folder there?
Yeah. Can I ask Bernard? So when you're building a WordPress theme from scratch, do you always start with creating a static HTML version of the website or the main pages, and then you go off from there? Yeah.
That's how I do it. Yeah, I know.
Okay, cool.
Not everyone does like that. Some people start with a starter theme.
Yeah.
And they kind of integrate it with that. I know that's how Peter worked. I think maybe that's how Shane does it. I'm not too sure on that though. So I'll just create a static version of the site and then just work into converting that then. So this, just gonna close some of these tabs. Jesus. Yeah, so the first thing I do is just create an index file. So you don't just leave it blank. I've already got a style sheet set up. So just to create the actual theme, just need to add a bit of this commented code into the header. I'll just save up a load of code here. So you see, I give it the theme name. This is the most important thing. And then just need to create a functions PHP file. This is where like you put in all your. I have a lot of code already. You have code set up which I use just for my functions PHP. You probably don't need everything that's in it, but
What kind of things you have there by default?
yeah, I'll go through them now. I'm just gonna move it into the file. So this is just like a star template I have just set up over time, like. So I have things like register the menus here. Down here I have registered scripts. I've done this already, but I'll go over it in a second. That's pretty much. That's just like this is the thing. This is where you put most of your custom code in when you're adding functionality to the theme. So I just save that. The theme should appear now, and I can activate it. And it won't be on show at the moment. So just open up my static index file. Just when I'm building them, I put everything. I try to make it so that there's have everything in between header tags.
The indentation and the structure, right?
Yeah. And
Right.
I have everything that's going to be in the body and in between main, and obviously the for. So I'm going to create some everything above header is going to be obviously going to follow around. Is what you want. It's going to be on every page of the website, and everything inside for is going to be on every page of the website, and then everything inside main will probably change from page to page. So we need to create a header PHP from everything above, from the opening main tag up to the top, and then I create a for PHP file from everything on the closing main tag to the bottom. I've got some code set up here.
Bernard, since this is probably always the same for every single WordPress build, would it be a good idea to put together some kind of a basic theme that everybody can start from, you think?
Yeah, you could do that as well. That's what I kind of have laid out here in the this document I've created. You could basically follow along, and you could
Cool.
by the end of it have up a start theme. But
Nice.
yeah, I can do that as well. Like I kind of have one already myself that I usually just I just take the code from myself. But yeah, I can do that.
Cool.
And upload it. But it's a good idea just to go through it and just learn how it works.
True. Yeah.
I'm just gonna create the for PHP file now. So I'm just gonna take from I'll put that in there. Then I'm gonna reopen the index PHP file, and I'm just gonna get header and get footer and to call in the files that I created.
And obviously WordPress knows what to do because the footer PHP and the header PHP is always the same file name, right?
Yeah. I just mean that bar is not shown. Shit, that was. So that should be shown now, the header on the footer. There's a couple of other things here going on as well on the header PHP file. I've added the body class and the WP head, which calls in all the plugin scripts into the CSS files. And then the for that should be in there now. For whatever we need. Should have WordPress for, which also calls in the plugin files and stuff. So just the template hierarchy is something you should probably look into if you're learning how to build them. Build WordPress themes. Like the basics of it is, I have here front page, which eventually turn the front page h.php. But like if WordPress can't find front page PHP, I look for home PHP to display the home page, and if it doesn't, it'll always fall back to index PHP. Does that make sense? I don't know. How does this sound?
Yep, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So just on the next couple of pages, I might explain, like you might explain the template hierarchy a bit better, but when I'm building them out. So the next page, I'm going to build a single PHP which displays the WordPress posts. So
that's not for pages. That's posts only, right?
single, yeah, just for posts. So I have a template built here. It's going to look like this.
And if you have a custom taxonomy or a custom post type, is it going to use the same, or do you need to copy it, clone it for every single one?
You can it will fall back to, if you can't find a specific template for the custom post, it will fall back to the single PHP for it.
Cool.
But yeah, so just for custom post types, all you do is when you're creating it, you prefix it with the name of the post type. I'll cover post types in a while. Yeah, so I'm just going to create a file called single.php, which WordPress uses for the single post types. What are we doing here? Just put in the get header and get foreign tags. So individual editor, just to get the content to display from that on the single post, just have to add in the WordPress loop. So yeah, I should have really put in all the body of the template I'm using for the single post into this template first. I'm just going to publish a post and it should show now with that template. But the content's not dynamic yet. So just to make it dynamic, just add in the loop here. Text is shown now. We usually have the post title here as well. So we'll just add in the post title between the H1 tags. Then we give it a post. Title shown now, and then this is probably going to be the featured image. How to use this? Just make this the post thumbnail.
There's a way to choose the size of the image, right?
Yeah. I have that on there. So you can see it's changing here. Yeah, how did you change the image? Change the size of the image.
Yeah,
I
so
know it's,
that's the full size, right?
yeah, so you can just type in. I think this is just the size of the image anyway. Oh, shit. No, that's just the size. I think that should be really all there is to it, I think. I forget what to do.
Also, the full size image is actually this size, right?
Yeah.
That's why I didn't. Okay.
But yeah, you can control the size of the image. So just from the single post, then you can usually make the default WordPress page, which is just when you're adding a new page in WordPress. So we don't have a page for this yet. So I'm just gonna duplicate the single PHP file, paste that and rename it page.php. Oh shit. You see that showing now.
So it's the same kind of thing. It just allows you to structure the pages differently from the posts, right?
Yeah, that's just for the WordPress pages, like yeah. So like obviously like some websites won't have a blog page maybe,
Right.
and they'll only use pages and stuff. So you can just like add new pages. Yes. So the next step would be then to build out the blog index page, which I have. So it's gonna look like this. It's gonna link through to the single blog post. Yeah, to build this, it's usually use the index PHP file then. So I'm gonna open that back up in the editor.
So in that case, you just need to make sure that nothing else defaults to the index PHP, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna be building like I'm gonna eventually build out a home page and stuff.
Yeah.
You can also change from the customer what the home, whether you're going to use it as a static page or your latest post.
Right.
So you can change it then here.
And is there a file name to dedicate that file specifically to the archive page?
How do you mean, sorry?
You know the way in WordPress you have the page that lists all the posts?
Yeah.
Is there a file name specifically for that?
No, so it's just
So
going
it's
to be
always
index.
index. Okay.
Yeah. So then the way the hierarchy works, to create, then if you wanted to just show archives, then we just like basically we're going to duplicate the index page and call it archive.php.
Yeah, sorry, by saying the archive page, I meant the homepage of the blog, yeah.
Yeah. So just from the static version, so I'm just going to take the code I have for the blog posts. Oh, tabs open.
Okay, so that's a single post listing that you just copied, right? So that needs to be inside a loop, right?
Yeah, so this is I'm just taking the static code from the index, from the index blog template I sell. For listing the blog post, and it's going to put it into index PHP.
Right.
I'm just going to save it again. I think we still have this as our home page. You can see the code is on now. So again, you can take the loop again from the single PHP. And yeah, so I just need to restructure it so that it keeps the design here. Which I think I have this saved here. So you can see the loop is here. The only difference really here is instead of using the content, which is used to display the content in the single PHP file, I'll change it to the excerpt.
Yeah, you don't want to list the whole length
So
of the
just so it
content.
shows you a little bit, yeah, and also use get permalink to link through to the blog post itself. So it's a bit, yeah. So you can see it's we have two blog posts, so it's displaying the two of them now. It looks a bit ugly at the moment, but I can click through and I should bring up the blog post. Yeah, so then just from the index PHP file, then I can create search PHP, archives.php, and categories PHP. Categories. Archive. So then just usually when you have a website built, there's gonna be like it's gonna be custom, like just the inner pages are gonna have their own custom template usually. Just this for this one, it's the about page. So you just need to create a custom, define a custom template then for these pages. Let's call this one template about. And I'll take the code from the about static version from inside the main tag.
So Bernd, you only have to do this when the structure of the page is completely different to the default, right?
Yeah.
And am I correct to say that you can achieve the same thing using a page builder or not?
You could, yeah. So if you're using a page builder, then you'd be working on a page.php usually. You could use a page builder, yeah.
Okay.
Just because this one has a completely different design, I'm going to create define its own page template, which then can be used. You can create pages and then I'll show you now in a second. Anyway, it's going to call them, and they can use this template then on them pages. So just like for every page, I always add in to get the header and the footer. I take this code from the static version. And then to define the page template, I'm just going to add this comment about code to the top. Just a template name, and I'm going to call it about. You can call it whatever you want to, and just save it. And we go back and edit this page under page attributes. Oh, it's not shown. Oh, yeah,
It's the template in the new version. Yeah.
Yeah. I never used this Gutenberg.
Yeah, the Gutenberg's a bit of a pain in the arse, all right. But anyway.
But yeah, so template. Then I'm going to change it to the about. Update the page. You can see that we've got this new design on this page. Yeah, so custom post types then. Usually create a custom post like on this design. So we have like partners, that could be a custom post type. So when someone adds, so I'm just thinking, something I didn't actually do yet was I haven't created the home page. So to create the home page, I'm just going to create a file called frontpage.php. And add in the header on floor.
Do you need to change it in the theme customization options to make sure that WordPress is using that as the homepage as opposed to the, the blog listing?
Yeah, so because it's called frontpage.php, WordPress will automatically.
Oh, it's gonna pick that up. Okay.
Gonna automatically pick that up as the front page. So if you hadn't got this, then you could have just created a page template and maybe use that then, and then do it that way from the customizer. So again, I'm just gonna take all the code for the design for the home page. Throw that in there. Then I'll go back to the website. See, the home page is now showing. Yeah, so just to create custom post types like the likes of testimonials, clients letters, like just so you can do it from here the same as you do it from posts. Just the quickest way, or if you've never done it before, is just to use the custom post type UI plugin.
Normally it's functions PHP, right?
So yeah, you know, I'll be doing functions PHP, but it's a lot to kind of go through. And just if you never done it before, this plugin will actually create the code for you, and you can just put it into the functions PHP file.
Oh, cool.
I just have to try it. I haven't used this plugin in a while, but I'll try to create one. So I'm going to create one for this client, for partners, for these logos, basically. It's usually you just create post sites or something that's going to show a couple of times around the website, so you don't have to keep on creating the code for it. Call it post type clients. I'm just gonna post type. Let's see, it's showing up here. It's a post type. What else have we got? We've got gonna create one for. So you can see in this plugin, you can get the code, then you can just copy it into your functions PHP file.
And how do you make it ask for a single image then in the admin?
So you want to add it in here for clients, is it like?
Yeah. That's the logos, right?
Yeah. So
you kind of need to define somewhere that it should ask for a single image, and that's it, right?
Yeah. So the easiest way to do that would be to maybe create a custom field. So we usually, to make stuff dynamic, we usually use Advanced Custom Fields Pro. And so let's show this field if it's equal to
Client here.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So if we go into clients now and add new, you see there's an option down there that's for adding the image, but you have to also make the content dynamic in the about template. Yeah, so you really it's just another loop. I've got the code here, so I'm just gonna show it as a quick example. Got the array, the post type. We changed that to client. That was a client, yeah. So I think I found that will work. I'm just gonna use this image again.
Still need to make the image dynamic, right?
Oh yeah, shit. So yeah, actually, I'm getting a bit lost here. So just wanted to creating that custom field. There's a plugin as well. You've never really used Advanced Custom Fields before. There's a plugin called Advanced Custom Themes, fields, theme code pro, which will generate the code from the fields here. You see it down the bottom here. Just spit it back out what the code that you'll need to display that field.
Very cool.
On the front end. So I'm just gonna throw that in there quickly. I think this should work. So let's go back to my about page. Oh.
I think you're missing the end while there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should probably have a colon there at the end, not a semicolon, not a colon. Right?
So let's go. Expected else.
The end while needs to go below the end if, and then you need another end if. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, here, I'm just gonna. I don't know why this isn't shown, so I'm not gonna dwell on it too much. But that's the basics of it.
The get field client image should probably have some kind of an ID parameter of the post, right?
Say that again, sorry.
Line 36, get field. Does it need an
Yeah.
ID of the post?
No,
or
this
something?
is this should be the
Yeah,
show.
it won't show you the preview output when viewed like this. You have to view the page like, yeah, without the preview.
I'm just gonna move on. Like,
Yeah, we get the gist of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the basics. That's really just the basics of it. I think. if you want to, you could also start moving things into template parts. So you could create just for the say for the home page. Just there for you can to reduce bloatly. You can the stuff that's going to appear around the site a lot. You can also move it into the template part, and
So that's useful whenever you want to repeat the same thing somewhere else, right? So you don't have to copy the code.
yeah. So
Right.
it's really just then to call it back. You move it into the folder template part, and then you can create some subfolders, say for homepage, and then you can like say home Header PHP or something like that. And then you can call it. You can in the template itself. Then you can change it. You could just basically take all the code. Put that into Header PHP. Call it back with template parts. Have a closing tag. Put into the wrong thing now. So, does anyone have any questions? Just working out with that.
You don't need to put out the whole path, including the file name .php to that now.
Oh yeah, actually, you're right. Sorry.
Might be it, might not. And no.
Yeah, so just I don't know if there's any questions because I'm going to go through this whole thing.
Yeah, I have a question. So if you say you want to create a template part and it's a slider, right, that requires some JavaScript file to be imported from some link on the internet or whatever, how do you properly enqueue the JavaScript link and the CSS link? That's one question. And the second question is, how do you do that globally? Because now you have in header you have like rigidly you have the JavaScript and the CSS lines there, right? Is that the right way to do it, or like does it need to be moved to functions.php somehow or something?
Yeah. So you should always just you shouldn't in WordPress. You should always just load the scripts in functions PHP. You shouldn't you don't load them in the. It'll work if you load them in the header and in the footer, but you should load them in functions PHP.
Cool. And can you just quickly explain to me how it works? Because like at the top I can see enqueue script jQuery, fine, but how like what does it do, right? How does it know where to take the file from, for example?
For jQuery, it's because WordPress has a copy of jQuery loaded in.
Oh, it knows. Okay.
Yeah. So
that's
for
like
this
a
one,
keyword. jQuery is a keyword, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the next one, I'm loading in popper.js. So I'm deregistering the script first. so it doesn't conflict with.
Just in case that it's already there.
Say it has in case there's another plugin or something loading them in. So it deregister first and then queue it again from like the themes assets folder. And then you can select the priority as well that you can want to load them in.
Cool. Okay, so that's how I would do it in case I wanted a specific version for jQuery, for example. So I wouldn't use the line at the top which does it all for me. That probably pulls in the latest version always, is it?
No, this WordPress for some reason I think it uses some weird version of jQuery, so
Oh, okay.
you can load in the latest version. I mean, you rarely get issues, but apparently you shouldn't really do that because you will get issues. Like you could get issues. Actually, on jQuery, it tells you the initializer with WordPress is like that.
Yeah.
It's the only way that works with WordPress for some reason.
Yeah, it's not the $sign because that's used for something else somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Anybody, any questions, guys? All makes sense?
I have one, a little bit irrelevant to the things Bernd showed, but what I find frustrating sometimes is when I want to overwrite the parent thing. And although I may replicate even the whole thing to the child, doesn't allow me to change something. So sometimes I'm forced just to do the change on the parent thing instead of the child, and that's a mistake. Because if the theme actually updates, you will lose it, so you have to repeat the whole life.
I couldn't really hear that, to be honest, Francis.
You couldn't hear me. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but you're in a long tunnel.
Now?
No, same.
I'm not sure sometimes how to override things from the parent theme to the child.
Parent-child theme, okay.
Yeah.
So like for obviously, like if you're making changes to the parent theme, it should always be done in the child theme. To override it, like usually you can just copy in. So let's say I wanted to change in the child theme, I wanted to change the total layout of single PHP. So you just copy that into the child theme.
The thing sometimes is like you may have a whole something which is included in various sub levels. So when you try to include the sub directory which has another subdirectory and in it there is a file, when you try to replicate the whole thing in the child theme, it doesn't work. It doesn't.
Okay, so the question is basically when you're doing the replication from the parent team to the child team, how do you make sure you're bringing over everything that the template actually calls for? Because it will be missing in the parent theme, right? In the child team.
Yeah, so I suppose the main thing is just the scripts and the styles, but are you talking about like sometimes you can't make changes even after bringing in, say, the file, it doesn't change after bringing it into the child theme?
Yeah, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes I just really can tell why it works or not.
Yeah, so I mean, sometimes with some of the premium themes, then it's kind of a whole other level, but you look for the hooks and in the functions PHP, like you just create a function to modify the hook.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's how it's usually.
So probably
you
just have to replicate something from the functions PHP as well.
Yeah. And then like kind of define the hook that you want to change, or you kind of have to do. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll copy over the folder, the whole theme to me desktop, and then I'll open it as a project. I'll just try and like somehow find that that hook. It might be like by finding something that's wrapping it like as a string or something like that, or a HTML class.
Right. So if you're
the whole project.
So if you're copying a template from a parent to the child theme, and something is missing, it's generally always in the functions PHP. It's not like some other files that would be missing. Like, you know, what I'm asking is, does WordPress know to look into the parent theme in case there is a file being referenced in a template that is missing in the folder structure of the child theme, right? That makes sense.
Yeah, so, but I mean, like, for the child theme itself, it's really, again, it just should be just like 3 files, like, to set it up. It should be the CSS file, the index file, and a new functions PHP file.
Right.
So you don't really have, you shouldn't really have to bring in anything else to create it. So actually, if you really just want to create a child's theme, I know you probably use already, but there's a lot of plugins that just usually just generate it for you. And it's usually like, it usually just work right away, like.
All right. Is that okay, Panos? Yeah?
Yes.
Cool.
Thank you.
Anybody, anything? Grand. Is that it, Bernard, or do you have anything else there?
Oh, no, I think I'll leave it at that. It's not really.
Yeah, we're probably getting out of time anyway, so I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks for that.